YouTube, this is just a quick little update video. Tomorrow we have some new additions that are going to be coming. So all 8 of those shells down here are meant for those new additions. I'll show you a few cool things and I'll talk about some stuff. So right here is a baby viper gecko. I've been raising this one up because the color is very unique to viper geckos, and I have to put her in a cup like this to feed her. So she goes in there like that quite a bit, like you saw. Sometimes she runs out of there and that's fine. But she has access to food and water. And these are adult female viper geckos, so this is how big she'll get. Pretty sure that this is adult size. I saw a male that was actually smaller than these girls were, and they said he was a proven breeder. And viper geckos can actually be housed together. So there are 4 female viper geckos in this cage, and 3 males. We're all in there. And the males get along just fine in these species, but as often you don't want to house males together if they fight. And these guys have been growing up together, and you can see that they eat and poop just fine. I feed them mealworms and crickets, so they get a bunch of different things. But they can hatch really, really tiny, like this special one down here. That could be a new color in viper geckos, so we will see. Recently, as many of you might know, I had Pictus geckos on this rack system. I do not have Pictus geckos on this rack system anymore because I kept losing females. So I followed people's advice, like the Supreme Gecko, and other people's advice, and their systems work well for them. Putting Pictus geckos on sand, it did not for me. I had a female get impacted and die, and I performed a necropsy, and I hate to say that, but it's true. So I took all my geckos off of sand because I am terrified of it, and I had impaction happen, and I've never housed leopard geckos on sand before. Like, I would never house this boy. He's really pretty, but I would never house leopard geckos on sand, and I will never house any of my other animals on sand. And I only housed 1 female on sand, and she got impacted, and someone said it's a rare percentage, but it can happen, so do not house your animals on sand. Right here are some U-mills. I was housing these guys on sand. They seem to do well on it. The breeder I got them from said that he housed these guys on sand all their life. But I have not housed them on sand since because I am worried about impaction, as I said. So these guys will be housed on paper towel substrate from now on, just for my own sanity, basically. But they've been doing well. These guys like humidity. These guys, I want to put them on something like this for their humid hide. This is a sand eco-earth mixture, and I talked to geckos, etc., and they said that they use that. And they have a hypo form, like this girl is. I have 2 girls and I have 1 boy who is not hypo. He is normal. He is darker. So that's the normal form of U-mills. Don't even know if you guys really knew I had these geckos, but I do. And they also have an albino form, apparently, out there, but it is very hard to get and very expensive, so we will not have those geckos for a while, for at least a season or 2. So yeah, this is a basic setup. When the geckos come, they'll get food and water and calcium, and these will become quarantine tubs. These animals actually are out of quarantine. They've been out of quarantine for a while, so I really don't need to put these labels on there anymore, which is fun. Anyways, we will have 8 new additions coming tomorrow, and there's more than that on the way. I have a few breeding pairs. Here's a white knight project. This is a radar male and to a super snow white knight, and she's ovulating, so this is good. They're going to be left together for a while. This is a galaxy female right there, bred to a super snow giant male. He's like 100 grams, so if someone wants giant babies or giant sized leopard geckos, these guys will be giant sized. I guarantee it. He is huge. He's like a foot long on my hand. So there was a chance that his father was a giant, but it came from giant lines. But I mean, they hit the weight size, so technically to me they're giants. So I moved my Pictus geckos here to room temp because I talked to a friend of mine over at Rack House, Paul, and I really like him. He's amazing. I got my Pictus geckos from him, or some of mine from him. So here is a pair. So I'm trying to breed them again. We'll see how successful this gets to be. So I leave the male in with the female typically for about a week. So I put her in yesterday or the day before. So the female's this one, and this is the male. So hopefully they breed, and then I'm going to try a different lay box that Rack House does to hopefully breed Pictus geckos successfully and use vitamin and mineral supplements that he uses strictly for these guys. But I left them in these tubs off of heat because we think that the heat was the problem and these guys have to be at room temp. So, and my room temp's like 72, so it's low. So there's no hot side. They're kind of like the Crested Geckos in care. Some other new additions you might have not seen. Sorry, the table's a mess. Here's a beautiful Chinese cave gecko male. He is really, really pretty. Bright orange bands. So he's a high quality Chinese cave. I got him from a Reptile Expo for $100. And then I have a few miscellaneous Crested Geckos. I have a nice red male. He's actually fired up. Let's take a look at him. A nice red Crested Gecko. You can see who I got him from. I got him from what do you call it? Rick. So that's the guy I got this little guy from. Hoping it's a girl. You can see the nice bright red Dalmatian. So hoping this turns out to be a nice breeder for the future. So kind of nice. She's fired up, or he. I'm hoping it's a girl. As I said, I bought two like reddish Cresties. There's like a red Harley thing in there, or a Harley with a red tinge. So I'm hoping I'll breed it to the reds. Here's a little Gargoyle Baby I picked up for $100. Very pretty little gargoyle. I don't really, gargoyles vary so much. This gargoyle's even more pretty. So let's take a look. I'm doing this one-handed, so I apologize if it's slow. So this is a nice little red stripe gargoyle. When he's dark, it doesn't look as good, but when he or she is fired down, it looks great. So this has probably my nicest gargoyle. And I paid $200 for this guy. So yeah, that's a little bit of what's going on. There's a female Crested Gecko that needs a tank upgrade soon. And here I call this one Satan, or Lucy for short. Yeah, so a lot of new things. Red male's breeding to a yellow female at the moment. I haven't bred my tricolor female yet. She's gorgeous, my favorite. I was thinking about crossing her to Ghost, and I just cleaned these tanks yesterday. That sucks. But yeah, so we'll see what happens. Also, if you guys are interested in isopods, I've been breeding isopods. So at one point, I would like to start shipping isopods. I have dairy cows, Porcellus levis orange. I have clowns, I have pack chungs, pandas, some rubber duckies, dwarf whites, powder, technically powder blues and oranges, but I don't have them for sale at the moment. This A. Perscaris, this is an experiment to make white ones, which is kind of cool. If it works, I'll show you. I think I'm going to call them bandits because they have like a little black face, which is really awesome, and that might be new. But yeah, so Pictus geckos here, mills, leopard geckos, crested geckos, gargoyles all mixed in. and viper geckos. So there's a lot going on here, clearly, but we'll see what happens. I'm graduating vet school, so yeah, a lot of changes. Quick little update. Hopefully you guys will see the unboxing video tomorrow.